just touch on this one, because this is the one that he shared with me back in 2003, which really changed the way I think about wealth. Because gold has been money for 5,000 years, even though it's been, we're not culturally, I would say, even as a detective, I used to go into many places that, of course, people would steal gold and this and that, but I didn't really grasp the idea that this is money or real wealth, you know. Obviously, they're stealing it for a reason, but I didn't get it, you know. And Philip said, his simple metaphor, in fact, I've got some gold in my wallet, it's over there by the shelf. It's okay, I don't need it. But an ounce of gold, let's assume that's an ounce of gold. In fact, an ounce of gold is smaller than that by weight. You could clothe a person, going back to Roman times. So 1 ounce of gold, clothe the person by toga and parallel sandals a few thousand years ago. 100 years ago, the same deal. 1 ounce of gold would actually buy you a three-piece shirt and tie and leather shoes. Because at that time, back in the 1920s up until 1933, 1 ounce of gold was priced at $20 US. So $20 US note could actually, you could buy a lot for it. And of course, Philip's next question to me was, here we are in Zurich, Bill, what would you do with this $20 today? And I joked with him and said, Philip, we just came from having coffee and cake in downtown Zurich, and that costs us the equivalent of nearly 20 bucks. Today in Zurich, you probably buy 3 cappuccinos, no change out of $20 US. 3 coffees, it's gone. It's probably not too far off from here now either. What do you get for 20 bucks here? 4 coffees. 5. Depends where you go. You know? Starbucks, you probably wouldn't get 5 today, you might get 4. And then he pulled out an ounce of gold. He said, what could you do with an ounce of gold? And of course, the penny dropped. The concept of store of value. That was really the awakening for me. Now, he said primarily throughout history, rulers of empires, royalty, and the financial elite always put part of their wealth. He said it may only be 3 or 5%. It's a very small amount. I'm not here to tell you you should be selling your houses and putting it into gold. That would be a silly thing to actually do. But it's a concept of wealth preservation. That's really the concept. If you're saving in currency, the wealth is slipping through your fingers. You need to put it into other assets in that respect. Okay, it's not. Here's just a simple example. I've taken some of them out. Okay, but this one here, the year 2000, which is not very far away, or go I should say. A Starbucks coffee cost $1. The gold price is around about $2.79, which is $9 a gram. So $9 you can buy 9 cups. 1 ounce of 1 gram of gold you can buy also 9 cups. Well, today, of course, a bit behind my date there, but the gold price is ranging, you see, $1,200 and say $1,300 in one respect. It's around about $40 a gram. So I can still buy my 9 cups with a gram of gold. But to buy 9 cups with currency or the Aussie dollar, I need a lot more paper currency. That's really the point that I'm making on that. But that's primarily enough on the gold. But as you can see here, gold is a standard of store of value. You can see all the major currencies pretty much have lost huge amount of buying parity compared to gold in that respect. Philip is also, he's a fund manager. He owns a gold fund, precious metal fund as well, which we're involved with. Argor Horizon is a refinery since 2008. I've been buying direct from Argor Horizon. It's a Swiss refiner that London Bullion Market accredited. They only sell to banks and financial institutions. But because I was doing work for Philip Judge and his fund, we also mint our own coins. We have coins minted, as you know, of course, of the story of Joseph, the story of Moses, the story of King David as private collectibles, and we do other ones as well from different companies and things as well when people sort that. So it's all certified to its highest purity and, of course, and to its weight. We all have dreams, we all have aspirations, we all have bills to pay, we want to go and visit our children. Maybe it's in Melbourne, maybe it's overseas, who knows? The bills have to be paid. The question is, how do we pay these bills? If we're in retirement, our income levels, they go to zoom, don't they? Our income pretty much stops, it slows down dramatically, but the bills don't. So one thing has to give up. It's either your quality of life you've got to give up, or you've got to keep that income levels up. So how are you going to do that? What's the vehicle you're going to choose for that? It's very important that you have multiple sources of income. So we're going to touch on that. Primarily Swiss Gold Global, as I mentioned to you, we started off being a gold and silver company. Through my naivety and awakening, realised that gold and silver, I just took the wrong way. Sorry, I'm backwards here.
You're going the other way.
Yeah, no, I see we're driving on the wrong side of the road again. Okay. I got involved with gold and silver primarily because of the wealth preservation. I was in the hotel business, I had a lot of cash flow. I was in the real estate a bit too, of course, but I was never introduced to gold and silver. So that's why we really started it, to actually share people the concept of knowledge and also to be able to preserve wealth, especially when you go to countries into the Eastern Europe, which Robert's familiar with, Ukraine, Russia, Hungary, these parts of the world. They've had huge currency crises, even in the 90s, even Asia, of course, and Latin America. We see Claudia just came back from Argentina. In the month of June, their inflation was over 22%, just for the month of June. Pretty significant in Venezuela. So these people don't want to save in their currency, they want to save in something like gold and silver. So at Swiss Gold Global, you can do that. We also now, since November last year, I too, of course, Keithy, didn't buy Bitcoin in 2013. So I haven't pulled my hair out like you though. No. But I felt like it.
That's why I shave every morning, Bill.
But I felt like it because generally if we don't understand something, what do? We push it away, don't we? If we don't understand it, I don't want to know about it. And yet I can see it, I can hear it, I hear people talking about it. But it wasn't until one day when I turned on, I haven't had a TV for 16 years, but I turned on my laptop and watched the internet news one time. And before it went to the break, it actually, you know, you go on the news stations and it brings up a break and it'll show the index, the stock exchange markets, oil price, gold prices. Well, on this particular station, the main station, it flashed up gold price, oil price, Bitcoin price. Cha-ching. I thought, Billy, you've got to start looking at this. But when you see that on mainstream news and TV, it was a bit of a wake-up call for me. I was a bit behind the game. I lost a few years until I woke up, but it's never too late. We're still, this disruptive technology is still in its early stages. Where is it going? We don't know, but it's looking pretty damn good, as Kiki mentioned this morning. So I did a lot of research, and there's primarily, as Keith said, there's a number of ways you can get Bitcoin. You can buy Bitcoin outright, or you can get engaged on the mining side, the operation behind the Bitcoin, as you explained. So I wanted to get to the grassroots of it, be on that side. So I rang around to different companies, including China as well. But I came across a company in Germany. One guy was an ex-civil engineer, another guy was a banker, doctor in mathematics, another guy was a banker as well. 3 young guys. And they were basically just hobbies in Bitcoin. They used to trade Bitcoins live in Munich with each other. And of course, they said, they realised what was going on. This is going back probably 4 or 5 years ago. They were early market movers on this. And they realised that, they became miners. Primarily what they're doing is they're creating their own mint. They are mining for currency. So they set up their first one in Croatia. Why Croatia? Wages are low, energy costs also. Now they invested around about €500,000 between them. This is some years back. They got the return on their investment in 1 month. Incredible. This company today does about $1 billion US. In 4 years, it's gone from a startup to doing about $1 billion US a year in revenues. Great guys. So I decided to jump in the car, drive to Munich and meet them. I like eyeball to eyeball, know what I'm dealing with. If there's any issues when I was dealing with different mining places in China, it wasn't so easy to get onto the phone, contact, communication. Culturally, it's a bit different in business. If something was going to go wrong, I wanted to know I could drive somewhere, walk through the front door, and of course deal with the situation. So that's what I did. So I met with them, and we just clicked. I said we're a gold and silver company. Primarily Bitcoin is what they call gold 2.0 in one respect, and I'll touch on that shortly. So they understood where I was coming from, but I wanted some of the digital gold called Bitcoin, which they had. So we ended up negotiating and doing a deal. So how it works, what's in it for me as the company? So primarily what we do, my vision is to take the global liquid platform where people can actually diversify their income, whatever currency it might be, into gold, silver, or cryptocurrency, and also, most importantly, earn another affiliate income. Because I know earning incomes is really, really important. That's how it all really started. So I buy contracts from them, mining from them at a discount price, and then we sell it on to you. So if you went to the Genesis Mining website, we would sell the mining at the same price they sell it to you. Difference is with us, if Keithy buys mining from us and he refers it to you, he's going to pick up 5% commission on whatever he buys, which means that Keithy gets the opportunity to compound his daily Bitcoin payout, which means more Bitcoins on his wallet, which means he's got more access on his prepaid Bitcoin card, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Which pays for his living expenses. That's generally how it works. And I've been to the mining farm. Who's seen the video of me in Iceland? Okay, it's pretty amazing, isn't it? When I go back, and we're going to get to go into another European country which also has geothermal electricity, and each hole is 3,500 square metres in size. Now this company has just chartered two 747 cargo aircraft full of rigs, mining rigs that is, to actually fill these. I mean, it's pretty awesome what they're doing. They've actually just been approved for an e-money license, which is really important through British law under the UK. They had to put down £2 million just as a guarantor that when they applied for the license. So we don't see that coming through to us as yet. They've got the license, then it's going to take time, of course, to set up the applications to be able to use that. But this is all going to come out, of course, further and have better benefits for our members in Swiss Gold Global as well. The point I'm making is we're partnered with the right guys. On gold and silver, we're the right guys. With crypto mining, we are the right team as well. The biggest probably variation in this game of cryptocurrency is probably regulations. We'll touch on that shortly. It's a new disruptive technology. So where it's going, we don't really know. I believe in Australia they just changed the law up until I think June this year. If you were to buy a Bitcoin, I think you had to pay 10% GST. And they've only, which really suppressed the growth and technology of Bitcoin in Australia, the cryptocurrencies. Now they've just removed that, so they treat it as a currency, which is fantastic in that respect. Affiliate revenue, really important. Claudia will probably touch on this more importantly. And then of course we have an education academy, which I need, which we all need, because I think the really important key is we all have journeys of experience here. Passing on that experience and knowledge to the next generation is really, really important. Whether they listen is another thing, but I think it's important to pass on some of that experience to them. So Bitcoin versus gold, which is better on the long-term bet? Well, I believe in diversification, so I like a bit of both. But you know what? I'm very bullish on the old Bitcoin. That is where the money's flowing right now. That is the trend. That's the money of the 21st century. I think that's the way to go. But I still like to have a bit of gold and silver there as well. I like this slide here, because primarily when I got involved with gold and silver and the Bitcoin, people saw there was two rooms. If you're a gold bug and you're negative towards the Bitcoins. If you're a Bitcoin person, you're negative towards the gold. But primarily, we're the same. As it says here by Ralph Waldo Emerson, the desire of gold is not for gold, it's for the means of freedom and benefit. If you look at Plato comes from Eastern Europe, Robert spent a lot of time in Eastern Europe. Gold is money, it's a currency, it's a thing that people trust. People in many countries don't trust the centralised system. Why? Because they've been burnt in one respect. So even though they'll need their local fiat currency, we still need our Aussie dollars, of course, they like to be able to diversify into different things. And I think being involved with Bitcoin is really a prudent thing to do today. So with us, you can start Bitcoin mining today. As Keithy said, you can get started from $30. You can start with a free account and you can start from $30. Really no risk. The good thing about that is you can get your toes in the water. You can learn about it. You can start to get comfortable with it. It's a new disruptive technology. It takes a bit to get your head around. Because we're so used to dealing with physical money, like this, exchanging different things, the digital world is a bit different for us, isn't it? Certainly was for me. That's probably the main reason why I never looked at it. I couldn't see it, I couldn't touch it. I don't want to have it type thing. But of course, the world is changing. So on the left we have gold. It's a chemical element. It's used for many applications, from finance to central banks around the world, still storing and hoarding it, of course. It's a great conductor of electricity. It's in medicine, many things. Jewelry, of course. Bitcoin on the other side is a peer-to-peer virtual currency stored in a digital wallet, either in the cloud or in a user's computer. I like to use a hard wallet, but then Claudia will touch on that later on in her presentation. Its first use, well, gold goes back thousands of years. It's trusted as money, but of course Bitcoin started in 2009 roughly by Satoshi Nakamoto. No one really knows who he is. A guy in Australia claimed he's the guy. Whether he is, I don't really know. We see here in Australia, if you go to Kalgoorlie and those places, which I've been to, and Mount Isa many years ago. I've been down to mines in Mount Isa actually. I mean, it's a huge amount of human labour, cost involved, capital works to mine for minerals, to mine for gold. It's very rare. In one sense, that's what gives the gold the value. Its rarity and the labour involved and cost to actually mine it. While mining for Bitcoin, it's a digital mining. As Keithy mentioned, when you looked at that video, and you go to Swiss Gold Global YouTube, you'll find a video where I'm actually in the mining room in Iceland. And you walk in this place, it's like a honeypot, isn't it? Honey, big hive. You just hear these all these machines, thousands, probably, I don't know, maybe 12,000 machines, rigs, just in this one room. What are they doing? They're solving complicated algorithms. They're actually supporting the ecosystem of Bitcoin mining, transactions, as Keithy explained. This is what they're doing. And for doing that, they're getting a reward. That's primarily how it works in one sense. Gold, this is where it's different to fiat currency. We looked at that chart earlier on with the Aussie dollar. From about 1995, we see it's a bit of a hockey stick on what the Reserve Bank of Australia has been doing with our currency. They're just printing. Well, with gold, there's only about 170,000 metric tons of gold ever being mined collectively around the world. In fact, all the gold ever mined would fit in this room. It's about 20 metres by about 20 metres cube size. It's not much. So gold is very rare, and of course, so is Bitcoin. There's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoins, unless the protocol has a majority accepted they want to increase that. But at the moment, it's 6 to 21 million Bitcoins. And on a mining basis, currently there's only allowed to be 1,800 Bitcoins mined each day. That's it. That's the size of the pie. It's not much, is it? 1,800 Bitcoins mined each day. That's it. And as the ecosystem, as the mining system comes in, as more miners come in, the pie doesn't grow. This is what they call the difficulty rate. It gets harder to find the gold, it gets harder to find the Bitcoin. So the difficulty rate increases, which means the demand is increasing. That's primarily what's driving the price. We've seen since November last year, since we started mining, our members have done exceptionally well. The Bitcoin price was probably around 580, I think it was. The difficulty rate was much less. Exactly, I couldn't tell you. But of course, the ecosystem of Bitcoin mining has been growing substantially. Demand is increasing. That's what's been driving the price. I think you just said it was at 3,200, around 4,000 Aussie dollars for a Bitcoin. Pretty substantial in that respect. So that gives you a bit of an idea of how Bitcoin generally works in that respect. On the regulatory side, well, I can tell you from Switzerland, the Swiss is pretty sharp. If you think of Switzerland, what do you think of? Besides Alps and snow.
Chocolate.
Chocolate, okay, chocolate. Well, it's known for banking, isn't it? It's known for banking, finance. Some people might say tax avoidance, I don't know. But primarily it's known for international banking, and it's also known for being, I would say, a market leader in the financial services sector as well. Well, to give you an idea, just a few weeks ago, FINMA, the Financial Services Authority in Switzerland, which is, I've owned a Swiss company since 2008, which is exceptionally tough to deal with. They just approved a fund manager that they can now, a bank actually, they can actually provide Bitcoin to wealthy clients. But you can just imagine it. If you're, let's say you're worth many millions of dollars, and most people don't understand what Bitcoin is. So you walk into your portfolio manager, And the portfolio advisor says, listen, you own these stocks, you own these properties, you own equities, but you said we think you should put part of your portfolio with the Bitcoin. Well, they've been authorised that by the highest authority in Switzerland now. So this is another writing on the wall that we need to understand what we have here. In the railway stations in Zurich and around Switzerland, there's Bitcoin ATM machines dispensing. Pretty interesting. Nimbin? I've got to go there. Well, we're in Vietnam. We were in Vietnam. Actually, got to congratulate us. It's good to do that. I'm telling my brother in Melbourne, who was in business for, he owns a couple of restaurants, cafes, one's in Hampton. He's got to start accepting Bitcoin as payment. Good way for him to actually start to accumulate Bitcoin too. He should have an ATM there. When I was in Vietnam earlier on this year, there was a young Indian man, very, very, very sharp. He owned a couple of coffee shops. He had a Bitcoin ATM and he had a Western Union upstairs. And he just had wads of US dollars like this, tourists coming in wanting to buy their Bitcoins and do different things. And yeah, so it's on the go in that respect. But you can see here where it's been adopted. I mean, I was in Nigeria earlier this year because I have a Nigerian company as well. That's a different place to travel. You realise you're pretty well off when you travel to these places. But we have a Nigerian company, also a bank set up there to service these people there. But primarily there's about 2 billion people in the world that do not have a bank account. So Bitcoin is going to be great for this, isn't it? If we can provide these people the opportunity to mine for currency such as Bitcoin, if they can get a card like Keithy's got, he gets his from CoinJar. We went to their office in Melbourne the other day actually, just so you know. It gives people the opportunity in these parts of the world which you wouldn't normally have access to it. My older brother, one of my older brothers, Bernie, he does the Kokoda tracking. He's done 47 tracks of the Kokoda. He's a leader on it. I've done one, that's enough. He's done 47. But in these parts of the world, currency is a difficult thing. Bitcoin has a way of transforming people's ways of life. It's fantastic. That's on the regulatory side. Swiss Bank, I've already touched on that. The percentage of total market capitalisation. You know, the Deutsche Bank, which is a German bank, was founded around about 1870 or 1860. So it's taken them 140 years to reach the market cap. Bitcoin exceeded their market cap in something like 5 years. New technologies are changing very, very fast. Look at if we were a millionaire, we'd think we had a lot of money in our day, correct? If you achieved the millionaire status, that was it. Well, today you have kids becoming billionaires, having some application, you know. Well, you can see Bitcoin is the predominant coin. This is a little bit old, this chart, it's only July. But as you can see, the market cap collectively, I think, is over 100 billion as we speak right now. This is actually just the last 24 hours. I did this morning, I think. So just in the last 24 hours, 8.6 billion Aussie dollars has been transferred using Bitcoin as well. So is Bitcoin in Australia?
Yeah.
You better believe it. You don't see it, but it's happening. Look at that here. Pretty significant, isn't it? So you can take note of these sites here and do a bit of your own research. So it's important that we get engaged with it and learn about it and also share it with our children. Because I'm sure the schools are not talking about Bitcoin. And it's still very early stages to be engaged. Keithy will have this presentation, so if anyone wants to get that later on, you're most welcome to have it. So the global trend. Let's go back to 1995. Who invested in Microsoft? Who invested in the internet here back 20, 30 years ago? None of us. We kick ourselves today, don't we? Why didn't we do it? Because we didn't understand it, correct? I didn't do it either. I had no idea. 16 million people in 1995. Today, there's 3.5 billion people on the internet. That's a bit of growth. Pretty substantial. Well, today, there's only about there's less than 20 million Bitcoin wallets in existence. 20 million. Globally. That's not much. That's like a night drop in the ocean, the Pacific out here. So the point I'm trying to make here, we can look at the price. Bitcoin's at 4,000 Aussie dollars. You might think I'm too late to be engaged in this. It's not too late. Learn about it, get engaged. We've got great leadership and support here, and you can get started at a very minimal risk you'll be able to see. Let's have a look at how you calculate. There's a few videos there we show you how you calculate your Bitcoin payouts. But you can go to third-party mining calculators. Let's talk about the Bitcoin contract. Now, high return is not without high risk, correct? So I'm not going to stand up here and say to you guys, it's 100% guaranteed. It's not. Nothing's guaranteed. One thing is guaranteed is getting taxes. And the Aussie dollar is going to continue to buy less. That's pretty much what's guaranteed. But on this here, if you go to this website up here and take note of it if you like, they are what we call third-party Bitcoin mining calculators. You'll see some interesting things. You need to know this is what they call the difficulty factor. This is as of last night. The hash rate, I won't go into too much of this right now. That's just 2 terahash. Or what you're doing is it's how much power you're buying to mine for the Bitcoin. So on this particular contract, you're buying 200 gigahash. Let's say 200 gigahash is like a child in a gold mine, digging out a little bit, you know. And the more gigahash that you've got, more people in the mine you've got, the more you're going to be able to extract. Same sort of methodology in one respect. So on that there, when you go to the Bitcoin calculator, you'll see you've got the difficulty factor, you've got the hash rate of 200 gigahash, which is the 2 terahash. You've got the exchange rate, which is US dollars, 3,166. They're the variables. That's a variable. That's a variable. Okay? That's going to give you the day. This is only a $30 contract, mind you. This contract costs $30. $30, that's it. So it's going to give you about 19 cents per day. But with the Bitcoin contracts, there's a maintenance fee. So what is a maintenance fee? Well, the maintenance fee primarily is the miners have to be paid, got to pay for their buildings, they've got to pay for the rigs, they've got to pay for their electricity, they've got to pay for their administration, they've got to pay for their property, all that type of thing. So that's that. You can see here, without getting into too much mathematics, but you can take some screenshots of this, but I do explain it in a video. It's at it's about 28 cents a terahash or 0.008 or 28 of a gigahash. But primarily, whenever you see the payout on the calculator, just halve it. It's going to give you roughly, it's less than half. Why just halve it to be in general terms? That's going to give you your daily payout. But 13 cents a day multiplied by 365 days, in the first year you primarily got your money back. It's primarily 100% return on your money. Based on, that's not set in stone though, based on the difficulty rate on that particular exchange rate. It can vary. Maybe it increases, maybe it crashes down, I don't know. But primarily demand and supply, and the way Bitcoin is, that it's limited to 21 million Bitcoins, and in 2020 the block will halve again, won't it, Pete? It means the demand's even going to get stronger, which is going to drive the price. But the point is here, you can get started, you can get a return on your money pretty good from a little amount. Claudia's going to show you how to compound your return. So even if you got started with a small contract, share it with other people, they bought a contract, you're going to get earned free mining. That's the key. Compounding is the key. Financial independence, you need to have compounding on your side. Most people are on the wrong side of compounding. The banks compound their loans against us, whatever. And when you befriend compounding, it's exceptionally powerful. It will set you free. And we need to have that. I love compounding. In my favourite. This one's a 15, this is the largest contract that we sell, okay? Which is around just under 2,000 American dollars. It's 15,000 gigahash or 15 terahash. As you can see here, based on those same variables, the difficulty rate, the exchange rate, it's going to give you around about $13 a day. But you take off of course, the cost of the mining, the maintenance fee, just under $10 per day. Multiply that by 365 days, you're getting a pretty good return on your money. Now, the biggest variable, of course, is how long does the contract live for? What's the life of the contract? That's the variable, that's the risk you really have in one respect. The contracts will continue to pay out while it is profitable for them to do so. For example, let's just hypothetically said that Bitcoin price crashed against any particular currency, and the difficulty rate stayed high, which is sort of a contradiction to each other, it could happen. That means that would cost the miners more